if you add Los Angeles into it, then you can really do one big, beautiful bill because, frankly, they want that so badly. They want the money to go out there so badly. And I don't think we should do a bill until Los Angeles is included. And when Los Angeles is included, we get everything we want.
Look, you all know me by now. I think you understand that I try not to be too reactionary. I try to be measured. I'm absolutely on the left, but I try to be fair. To this clip, I would say, fuck this guy. I am sorry, but fuck this guy. This is Donald Trump admitting out loud that by waiting to link disaster relief for California, he'll be able to get his political agenda passed because, quote, they want the money to go out there so badly. If I said what I really thought in response to this statement, this video would probably get my account suspended. And look, he's right that Democrats want the money to get out here so badly because people need it, because people have lost everything, because their homes and their entire lives have been reduced to rubble and ash. And these are the same people, by the way, who Donald Trump as president will preside over in just a few days. Granted, that's how it should be. In reality, Trump views himself as the president only for those who voted for him. Everything he does is transactional, and he can't comprehend the idea of doing something because it's the right thing to do. He's only interested in doing something if he derives some personal benefit from it. And because California, and Los Angeles specifically, didn't vote for him, he feels zero obligation to help us. And because the fish rots from the head, now the rest of Trump's little minions in the Republican Party are going along with this idea of conditioning disaster relief.
Why should other states be bailing out California for choosing the wrong people to run their state?
We shouldn't be. They got 40 million people in that state, and they voting these imbeciles in office. If you go to California, you run into a lot of Republicans, a lot of good people, and I hate it for them. But they are just overwhelmed by these inner city woke policies with the people that vote for them. They don't deserve anything, to be honest with you, unless they show us they're going to make some changes.
And before we put funds into place, we've got to find out exactly how we're going to hold these leaders accountable and what sort of policy changes are required.
There's going to be hearings. There's going to be requests of Congress. There can't be a blank check on this.
I think there should probably be conditions on that, Dave. That's my personal view.
First of all, imagine being so depraved that you are using this moment to pour salt in the wound of the people who've lost everything, also that you can squeeze out some political concessions like the debt ceiling. And second of all people, does Mike Johnson of the state of Louisiana really want to set the precedent of conditioning disaster relief? Really? Of all states, the Louisiana guy wants to establish this precedent? Granted, he's probably making a gamble that Democrats would never do what he's doing right now, and frankly, he's right, because we are not psychopaths who extort people when they're at their lowest point. But because that asymmetry exists, Mike Johnson knows that he can gleefully strut around and threaten California, knowing full well that his colleagues on the left have a shred of humanity and wouldn't exploit people at their lowest point. But then I guess having a shred of humanity is where the two parties differ. In fact, I asked Governor Gavin Newsom in an exclusive interview for his response to this exact brand of depraved partisan politics. Here's what he had to say. Can I have your reaction to Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, coming out in support of establishing the precedent of conditioning disaster relief, and him doing it from the state of Louisiana? Like, yeah. This guy, it's not like this guy is any stranger to what would happen if we start playing politics with disaster relief. So can I have your reaction to that?
I hope it looks in his heart, the pain and suffering of the American people, the trauma that everybody's experiencing in his country. He's the Speaker of the House of Representatives for the United States of America, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all, not some who may have a political point of view. By the way, I didn't ask anyone what their political affiliation was when we're down here working to try to protect people in the community from the ravages of these fires and these unprecedented winds. But you know what? Nor did we ever, never in California questioned whether or not we as taxpayers in the largest state in the union should support the people of Louisiana at a time of emergency and need. We never conditioned it. We never talked about putting the full faith and credit of the United States of America with the debt ceiling bill so we can get tax cuts for billionaires and corporations that don't need it, and then put at risk the lives of hundreds of thousands of Americans that happen to live in California.
And this, by the way, is California as a donor state, as arguably the biggest donor state in the country.
Yeah, size of 21 state populations combined. A state with millions and millions of Trump supporters, Speaker Johnson and Mr. President-elect. Millions of your supporters are out here. They need your help. They need your empathy. They need your care, whatever compassion you can express, as opposed to condemnation and divisive language that has aided and embedded nothing except mis and disinformation that's flamed fear and flamed a lot of anxiety for folks that are simply trying to recover. And at the same time, our first responders trying to address the emergency at hand, which still hasn't been fully buttoned up.
In fact, California officials from Newsom on down have had to use their time not only contending with the catastrophe in the state, but countering disinformation coming from the top of the Republican Party. Because Trump and Elon Musk and Mike Johnson and the rest of these little acolytes decided to use their time not to help, but rather to flame tensions, California officials are now fighting two battles: the worst fire to ever hit the city of Los Angeles, and a disinformation campaign intended to purposefully sow lies and distrust in California's leaders, all because they've committed the crime of having a D next to their names. Here's Gavin Newsom's response to that. As far as the disinformation efforts go, we have seen that from Mike Johnson, from Trump, from others in the Republican Party. How much of an impediment to your job is contending with disinformation when you should be focused on more important things? Anything else other than that?
At first, the mindset, I'm putting my head down, that's just noise. And then I started realizing with my head down, I'm out in the community, people are reflecting stuff that made no sense. I said, why didn't you send us water? There's no state water. Why do you care about the smell? I said, what are you talking about? And I started to realize this misinformation is impacting people's lives, is actually impacting their ability to trust and reason. And so we started to push back. And yeah, we've had to spend a lot of time putting a fact site up that every couple minutes we're just having to update. I mean, people, there are people that have millions and millions of views that talk about the fact that somehow this was an intentional fire in order to get rid of tunnels because Donald Trump was going to prosecute everybody out here for pedophile rings. And it got millions of views. And there are actually people out there, reasonable people, God bless them, that are misinformed and start to believe this crap. And so we have to push back. And look, to be in the middle of this, to deal with hurricane force winds that attach to a fire, at the same time, we're dealing with hurricane force misinformation and intentional disinformation, not just by the President of the United States, but guys like Elon Musk that will platform all this bullshit as well. And forgive my language, that's what it is.
Bullshit is the generous interpretation here. And of course, to watch the full interview with Gavin Newsom, I'll put the link right here on the screen and also in the post description of this video. And so look, do I expect Republican officials to have some humanity? Frankly, no, that ship has sailed. They have shown us who they are. But my appeal is to the voters out there, the people of this country. I get that you might not like our politics here in California. I'm not especially partial to your politics in Florida or Mississippi or Louisiana or Tennessee, but not in a million years would I have wanted any of my elected officials to deprive you of help when you needed it. Not after hurricanes or floods or fires or earthquakes or droughts or tornadoes. The bare minimum of what it means to be an American is to show up when people are in trouble, regardless of political affiliation. The fact that Trump can't even manage that, and the fact that his sycophants who've taken up collective residence in his colon are content to gleefully go along with him, puts on full display exactly who they are. It is moments like these that people's true character, who they are at their core, is revealed. These Republicans, led by Trump, just showed us theirs. Before you go, just a quick note, if you'd like to see more of my content, which is always free of advertising, sponsorships, and paywalls, please make sure to subscribe to this channel using the subscribe button right here on the screen. And if you'd like to support my work even further, you can grab a copy of my instant #1 New York Times selling book, Shameless, available for sale right now. That link is also on the screen. Thanks so much for watching.